Doctor, this might sound strange, but does the name Emma Bennett mean anything to you? Pediatric cancer case, bone tumor, Metropolitan General?
Yes, I remember. She was 11. The surgery was complicated.
She's my child.
She is?
She's alive, walking, back in school because you didn't give up on her.
I remember that.
The police lights came on so suddenly that his chest tightened before his foot even touched the brake, because he already knew what this stop could cost. And it was not money or pride or points on a license, it was time. And somewhere across the city a child was bleeding, while seconds slipped away like water through open fingers. Before I continue, I want to know where you are watching from right now. Drop your city or country in the comments and let me know. And if this is your first time here, please subscribe sincerely, because stories like this deserve to be heard all the way to the end. The road was nearly empty, the kind of late evening stretch where headlights feel lonely and sound carries farther than it should. The black sedan slowed and pulled to the shoulder, tires crunching softly against gravel. Inside the car, the man behind the wheel kept both hands visible, resting them on the steering wheel exactly where officers could see them. His heart was not racing from fear. It was racing from urgency. He glanced at the clock on the dashboard, then at the hospital badge hanging from his neck. Every tick felt loud. He had been on medical leave for a week. His body still ached from months without rest. His mind was supposed to be quiet tonight. But the call came anyway. A 12-year-old boy. Car accident. Internal bleeding. No other trauma specialist available. The voice on the phone did not beg. It did not need to. Experience had taught him what that tone meant. If he did not arrive fast, the boy might not arrive at all. That was why his speed had climbed. That was why the limit sign had blurred past without registering. He knew the risk. He accepted it. He had seen what waiting did to children. The patrol car stopped behind him. The door opened. Heavy steps approached. Officer Jason Bennett had clocked the speed clean and clear. 27 miles over. No weaving. No hesitation. Just a man driving like the world was ending. Bennett's hand rested near his belt as he walked, posture straight, face unreadable. 15 years on the force had taught him that urgency often hid lies. He did not assume, but he did not bend easily either. The window rolled down. The smell of antiseptic clung to the car. Scrubs showed beneath a dark jacket. The badge caught the beam of the flashlight. The driver spoke quickly, controlled, choosing words that mattered. He explained the emergency. A child. Critical injuries. Minutes counted. He moved slowly, carefully, when reaching for his identification, because sudden movements could end things before they began. Bennett listened without interrupting. He had heard similar stories before. Births. Deathbeds. Emergencies that could not wait. Some were true. Some were not. He took the ID, glanced at the name, and nodded once. Procedure came first. He returned to the patrol car. The computer screen lit his face blue. License clean. No warrants. No history. Everything ordinary. Too ordinary. Bennett leaned back slightly and looked again at the name. Then at the photo. Something stirred, faint but insistent, like a memory tapping from behind a locked door. 6 months ago. A hospital hallway that smelled like fear and coffee. A small girl with tubes and wires, her hair thin, her smile stubborn. Bennett's fingers tightened around the steering wheel as the memory pushed through. Bone cancer. 11 years old. 7 hours in surgery. 7 hours where he had begged silently for a miracle. He remembered the surgeon's calm voice afterward. Steady. Honest. No promises, just truth. The tumor was gone. His daughter would live. Bennett stared at the screen. The face matched. Older in exhaustion now, but unmistakable. The man sitting in that car was the reason his child ran again. Laughed again. Slept without pain. Outside, the sedan idled. Inside it, the doctor watched the mirror, reading the delay like a wound opening wider. He thought about the boy on the table. He thought about the parents who did not know yet how close they were to losing everything. He did not know recognition was happening. He only knew time was leaving. Bennett stepped out of the patrol car again. The citation book felt heavier than it ever had. His chest tightened, not with authority, but with gratitude and disbelief colliding at once. He walked back slower now, eyes fixed on the driver. He stopped at the window and did not speak right away. The silence stretched, thick and confusing. The doctor looked up, searching the officer's face for meaning, for delay, for mercy. Then Bennett spoke, and his voice changed as he asked a question he never expected to ask on the side of a highway. A question that cracked the night open and set the path for everything that would come next. Officer Bennett asked if he remembered a girl named Emma Bennett, bone cancer surgery, Metropolitan General, 6 months ago. And the question landed so hard that the doctor forgot the clock, forgot the boy waiting, forgot the citation that never came, because memory rushed in faster than thought. He remembered the scans first, the way the tumor curled around places it should not touch. He remembered sitting alone late at night, staring until his eyes burned, refusing to accept the word impossible. He remembered the parents, especially the father, the way he stood instead of sitting, as if sitting might make it real. The way his hands shook when he tried to hold a cup of water. Yes, the doctor answered, because there was no other answer. He remembered. Bennett swallowed. He said the girl was his daughter. He said she was alive. He said she was back in school. He said she ran now. He said she talked about becoming a doctor. His voice broke only once, but it was enough. Tears came fast and unwelcome, cutting lines down his face under the flashing lights. The doctor felt something tighten behind his ribs. Surgeons were trained to stay steady. Emotion came later, alone, if at all. But standing there, hearing proof that pain had turned into life, the rules bent. He nodded, because words would slow things down. Then the urgency returned, sharp and cruel. The boy, the bleeding. Bennett asked about him, and the doctor explained again, simpler this time, because panic did not need details. Another child, another family, another clock counting down. Bennett did not hesitate. He told him to follow. No ticket. No warning speech. He turned and moved fast, already reaching for his radio. The patrol car lights exploded brighter, siren cutting through the night like a blade. The sedan pulled in behind, heart pounding again, but this time with hope. They moved as one. Traffic cleared. Intersections opened. Red lights became green before they arrived. Bennett drove with purpose, jaw tight, eyes locked forward. This was not about rules now. It was about balance, about returning something that had been given. As they sped, another call crackled through Bennett's radio. A different stop, a few blocks off-road. Another officer. A raised voice. A black man pulled over, words sharp, fear sharper. Bennett caught fragments. Hands on the hood. Don't move. The tone was wrong. Too hard, too fast. Bennett glanced in the mirror. The doctor followed close, trusting him completely. Bennett made a choice. He turned sharply, signaling once, pulling into the side street. The sedan followed without question. They arrived to flashing lights and shouting. A black man stood beside an old car, palms flat on the hood, shoulders tight. Another officer loomed close, hand near his weapon, voice loud, accusing. The man spoke calmly, trying to explain, but each word made things worse. Bennett stepped out, authority firm. He did not raise his voice. He did not rush. He asked what was happening. The other officer talked fast, defensive. Suspicion. Attitude. Failure to comply. Bennett watched the man's face. Fear lived there. Real fear. The doctor stayed in his car, watching, torn in two directions. The boy at the hospital. The man here. Abuse did not announce itself politely. It showed up when power forgot mercy. Bennett addressed the man directly, asking his name, telling him to breathe, telling him he was safe. The man's voice shook as he explained he had been stopped for a broken light. Nothing more. No threats. No resistance. Just fear. Bennett turned to the other officer. His tone sharpened. He reminded him of protocol, of reason, of dignity. The tension cracked slowly, like ice breaking under weight. The officer stepped back. His hand moved away from his weapon. Bennett told the man he was free to go. He apologized, clearly without excuses. The man nodded once, eyes wet, and left quickly, dignity held together by thin threads. Time screamed again. Bennett ran back to his car. He waved the doctor forward. Urgency doubled now. The detour had cost minutes. Minutes they could not spare. They flew again, faster than before. Bennett pushed limits he had enforced for years. The hospital rose ahead, lights bright, doors ready. They arrived together, tires screaming to a stop. The doctor was out before the engine died. He grabbed his bag, sprinted inside, already changing mentally, already focused. Bennett watched him disappear through the doors, chest heaving, hands shaking now that the motion had stopped. Hours passed slowly after that. Bennett returned to duty, but his mind stayed at the hospital. He replayed everything. The stop. The recognition. The detour. The man's fear. The balance between law and life. Then his phone buzzed. One message. Surgery successful. The boy would live. Bennett closed his eyes. 2 children safe. 1 night. One choice layered on another. He stood under the streetlight, uniform heavy, heart full, knowing the road had changed him forever. The night did not end when the hospital doors closed, because some moments keep moving long after the action stops, settling slowly into the people who live them and changing how they see the world from that point forward. Officer Bennett returned to his patrol route, but his focus drifted. Every red light felt different. Every call over the radio sounded smaller. He kept thinking about the chain of events, how one decision leaned on another, how a single stop on a dark road had turned into something far heavier than enforcement. He thought about his daughter asleep at home, her leg curled under the blanket, her breathing steady and strong. He thought about the boy in surgery, now resting instead of bleeding. At the hospital, the doctor cleaned his hands and leaned against a wall in the locker room, exhaustion finally catching up to him. His reflection looked older than it had that morning, lines carved deeper by responsibility. He stayed still for a moment, letting the noise of the night fade. He did not celebrate. He rarely did. Saving a life was not a victory lap. It was a return to balance. Later, when he checked his phone and sent the message to Bennett, it was brief and plain. Successful. Stable. That was enough. He knew the weight of those words would land where they needed to. The following days passed quietly. No headlines yet. No calls from reporters. Just routines returning. Bennett packed lunches, checked homework, drove his daughter to school. She talked about practice, about friends, about nothing that involved hospitals or pain. Watching her speak so freely felt like a gift renewed each time. The doctor returned to work full-time. New cases, new faces, new families carrying fear into bright hallways. He did not tell his colleagues about the traffic stop. He did not need praise. He only carried the reminder that his work reached farther than charts and scans. Then the footage surfaced. A body camera clip, shared without warning, spread faster than anyone expected. People saw flashing lights, a stop, a pause heavy with emotion. They saw a uniformed officer break down. They saw urgency turn into compassion. They saw a police escort cut through the city for a child they would never meet. Comments flooded in. Some praised. Some argued. Some tried to reduce it to policy debates and rule books, but many understood something simpler. That humanity had stepped forward when it mattered. Bennett was called into his supervisor's office. He walked in calm, ready to explain every choice. He spoke clearly, without drama. A child needed help. A surgeon was delayed. A man was being treated unfairly on the street. He did what he believed was right. There was silence after he finished. Then a nod. No punishment. No warning. Just a reminder that judgment was part of the job too. At home that night, Bennett told his daughter a gentle version of the story. He did not mention fear or flashing lights. He told her he had met the doctor who helped her. Her eyes widened. She smiled, the kind of smile that erased memories of hospital beds. She asked if she could meet him one day. Bennett said maybe. Some heroes worked best without applause. Weeks later, a letter arrived at the police station. No return address. Inside, a short note from the black man who had been stopped that night. He thanked Bennett for seeing him, for stepping in when things felt dangerous, for reminding him that dignity still had a place on the road. Bennett read it twice and folded it carefully, placing it in his locker. Across town, the boy from the accident learned to walk again. Slowly, carefully. His parents held his hands on either side, tears falling freely this time. They asked about the surgeon who had come in so fast. They were told only that he had been needed badly and had answered. Life moved forward, as it always did, but something remained. Bennett became more deliberate. He listened longer. He questioned quicker when something felt wrong. The uniform did not feel lighter, but it felt clearer. The doctor began keeping a small notebook. Not of cases or outcomes, but of names he remembered. Children who laughed again. Parents who breathed easier. It helped him on hard nights. Months later, they crossed paths once more, not on a road, but at a community event. No cameras. No sirens. Just a handshake, firm and quiet. A shared understanding passed between them. They did not need to speak much. Some stories end with applause. This one ended with lives continuing. 2 children woke up healthy. 2 men carried lessons they would never forget. And one night on a dark road proved that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is recognize the human being standing right in front of you.